Hello everyone and welcome to today's YouTube video. So in today's video I'm going to be covering one that I only just recently found out about myself. Try that again, words. Hey everyone. So in this video I'm going to be covering Robert the doll. So I know I've previously covered about the real life Annabelle. And this is one that not a lot of people actually know about. So this is Robert, and I found it quite interesting. And apparently, and this is just apparently, but the movies Chucky are based on Robert. There are some differences, of course. There's going to be some differences, like there is with the real life Annabelle doll, and there are the country movies and Annabelle film. So this is all about Robert. I thought it'd be quite an interesting one to cover, especially because everyone seems to know about Anna. More people seem to know more about Annabelle than what to do with Robert, so I think Robert deserves some love as well. So let's get crack-a-lacking. So Robert is a little boy in a sailor suit. He's got a careworn face, is only vaguely human. His nub of a nose looks like a pair of pinholes. He is covered in brown nicks like scars. His eyes are beady and black. He wears a maleficent smirk clasped in his lap. He is holding his own toy, a dog with garish popping eyes and two big tongues lolling crazily out of its mouth. Here are some things that people agree are true about Robert. That he's haunted, good start, and that he has caused car accidents, broken bones, job loss, divorce and other misfortunes. Robert, who is now 117 years old and lives at the Fortis Martello Museum in Key West, Florida, in a new display case which was recently donated by someone who is a fan of Robert's, says Corey Confettio, sorry if I mispronounced that name, but he's a curator of the museum. But the comfortable new digs, complete with humidity control and UV filtering glass to preserve the artefact, do not seem to have reformed Robert. The museum still gets regular reports of evils attributed to the doll. Before Robert came to the museum in 1994, he was a property of Robert Eugene Otto, an eccentric artist and member of the prominent Key West family. Yes, the doll and the owner had the same name, but the boy answered to Gene. Robert was a childhood birthday gift from Otto's grandfather, who bought the toy during the trip to Germany. Otto's relationship with the doll continued into adulthood. What people really remember is what they could probably term as an unhealthy relationship with the doll. He brought it everywhere. He talked about it in the first person as if it wasn't actually a doll. He was Robert, as in he is a live entity. After some digging, the museum traced Robert's origins to the Sterif Company, the same toy maker that first manufactured a teddy bear in honour of Theodore Roosevelt. Robert was most likely never intended to be sold as a toy. A staff historian told the museum that Robert was probably part of a set fabricated for a window display of claims or gestures. Which kind is adorable, especially with his impish behaviour. It kind of suits his personality really well. Robert's little sailor outfit was not supplied by the company. It was probably an outfit that Otto himself wore as a child. According to the legend, young Otto began to blame mishaps on the doll. While this could have been laughed off as a childish storytelling, adults also started noticing odd occurrences, especially as Otto and Robert grew older. As an adult, Otto lived in a stately home he called the Artist House, where Robert could be seen positioned at the stairs window. School children swore that he would appear and reappear, and they avoided the house. Myrtle Rita purchased the Artist House after Otto's death in 1974, and also became Robert's new caretaker. Visitors swore they heard footsteps in the attic and giggling. Some reported Robert's expression changed when anyone badmouthed Otto. In his presence, a writer said Robert would move around the house on his own, and after 20 years of antics, she donated him to the museum. But far from banishing Robert to obscurity, his arrival at the museum marked a turning point for the doll. Since Robert arrived, visitors have flocked to the museum to get a look at the mysterious toy. He appeared on TV shows, he has had his aura photographed, he is a stop on a ghost tour, and he's inspired a horror movie, which I'm guessing is Chucky. He has a Wikipedia entry and social media accounts. Fans can buy Robert replicas, books, coasters and t-shirts, and the most adventurous can even volunteer to be locked in with Robert after dark. And they can, and do, write to him. He gets probably 1 to 3 letters every day. But they aren't typical fan letters, they're often apologies. Many visitors attribute Paul's visit misfortunes to failing to respect Robert, or even openly disrespecting him, and avoid begging forgiveness. Others asking for advice or to hex those who have wronged them. And the museum and curator says that they have received more than 1,000 letters which they keep and catalogue. Robert also receives emails and homages. At some point it became known that Robert had a sweet tooth, so people even send him candy. Once he received a box containing 8 bags of peppermints and a card and no return address. Exercising caution, the museum staff did not consume treats sent to Robert. Guests leave him sweets, money and occasionally joints. I don't know why that tickled me so much, but there we are. It's completely inappropriate, says the museum. We are still a museum. So the museum's curator is now Robert's caretaker. Once a year she administers a check-up, taking him out of the case and weighing him to assess whether the humid Florida weather has adversely affected his straw-filled body. She is also his proxy, receiving and reading all of his emails and letters and running social media feeds. Several years ago, she photoshopped Robert's nubbly face onto a near-famous picture of Kim Kardashian popping a bottle of champagne into a glass balance on her behind. It was in order to attract attention to a campaign that would score the museum a grant if they garnered enough votes. Though the combined forces of Kardashians and Robert's celebrity and the doll's social media reach, he has almost 9,000 Facebook likes. The museum won by a landslide. Occasionally, the curator corresponds on Robert's behalf. She tries to send something to every child who writes him. Jean always had that childlike temperament around him, and we feel like Robert would want to be kind to children. And she also responds to more poignant ones, such as an email from a girl who has been bullied at school. So, does the curator actually think that he's haunted? I don't know. I really don't, she says. I've never had a bad experience with him. I've never felt uncomfortable. It's always been a very basic relationship, and I have a job to do, and I'll go and do it. And whether there's something to it or not, he just allows me to get on with my job. And that is about Robert. So, I think it's quite an interesting one. Especially with people giving Robert gifts as well, and sending him letters and emails, and apologising to him. I mean, people should respect him in the first place, but and he wouldn't be forced to cause all these catastrophes, but at least they apologise. But I do feel anything like that you should always treat with respect. But I guess if you're sceptic, you're not going to think of doing that. But me personally, I wouldn't want to get on the bad side of anything like that. That is something that you do not mess with, and I stay clear because I don't want to accidentally cause disrespect. And yeah, a lot could go wrong. But yeah, anyway, I thought that this one was quite an interesting one. I could see how he's loosely based on Chucky, with it saying that also as a child he blamed misfortunes on the doll doing it, whereas in the Child's Play movies it is the same sort of thing. Chucky would get be causing mayhem and murdering and all that jazz, and everyone thought it was the kid, and it wasn't, it was Chucky. So anyway, I thought that this was an interesting one. I'm really glad I did find this, even though I'm terrified of ghosts, but hey ho, still fascinates me. Don't quite understand that logic, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. And if you have anything else that you would like to that you'd like me to discuss in future videos, let me know even in the comments below on my socials that are linked in my YouTube bio, and also in my emails in there. You can drop me an email if you want it to be private, and I'll see you all in the next one.